Cast the Morgan you know.
Love the show, and you should check out my buddy Rod Morgan's pod, The Morgan You Know, as I'm confident he's primed to make some waves on the scene.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Morgan You Know podcast, a conversation show year-round about sports and wrestling and occasionally some entertainment topics. A wave to those of you joining us live on Facebook or Twitch, or I'm not entirely sure where else you can view this live, or checking up later on YouTube. We appreciate it. My name is Rod Morgan. I'm joined by the executive producer of this podcast, a man who will ask the questions and run the ship the second half of this podcast, much like he runs the whole Morgan You Know ship, the executive producer, Jimmy Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
Hello, Rod. It's a great week to be an NBA fan, but not a great week to be a Bears fan? What?
Yeah, we didn't think we'd have Bears news to get to, but we do. Jimmy will fill us in on that in a little bit. Our dear friend, the old man, Chris King, is off this week. Filling in for us is our good buddy, Dax Storm. And Dax, I have a breaking announcement for you right now. I figured out a title for you here in the Morgan You Know universe. You are now officially our Indianapolis correspondent. Dax Storm, hello.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. That's a good title. I'll hopefully best of it.
I believe you will, my friend. You have a passion for the Circle City. You have lived there most of your life, and you are a season ticket holder of two teams in the city. I say you are qualified to be our Indianapolis reporter. So you are here in space of the old man tonight. And Jimmy, the old man, I mean, is the source of tonight's cold open question, which faithful listeners will know I don't get to every week, but every once in a while I have something that I decide to throw to you right off the top. And I'll ask you this, Jimmy. What is the conference that the old man is attending that means he is not able to record with us this evening?
What is the conference that he's attending?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to call him out on this, but I will. So he's in Pennsylvania. There is an annual meeting of Civil War reenactment.
Nice.
They go all over the country. They are in Gettysburg. And the reason why he is there, Rod, is he is giving a speech because he is the only living person who actually experienced that. So it's kind of a big deal for the old man.
That's true. We really, we should give him a little bit more respect for this kind of honor that he serves, right? He is literally living history in the flesh. Most people don't understand that about him. Jimmy, while that is a great answer, that is not actually the correct answer. I will go to our guest, Dax Storm. Dax, what do you believe is the conference that Chris is attending that means he cannot record with us this evening?
Yeah, it's got to be something for work, right? I mean, I'll just, right?
Well, yeah.
What kind of work, though, Dax? What kind of work conference would he be attending? What kind of trades does the old man need for his work?
I don't know. I'd think of some type of engineering class, with the old brace and bit, trying to figure out new ways to use that. The maintenance technician engineer field. So I know a lot of people use the cordless batteries and drills and all that stuff, but I just think that's overrated. I think Chris agrees.
I think you're absolutely right about that. The old man is at a work conference, and Dax kind of hit the nail exactly on the head there. Chris is at a work conference that promotes non-motorized and non-electronic tools. It's really a movement to go back to the Stone Age, and Chris really feels at home there. So he is at a conference to try to push that agenda throughout America. Not a lot of attendees. You're not going to notice that this is going on in Chicago, Jimmy, because it's a movement that doesn't have a whole lot of people behind it. But Chris is excited, and he's going to be dedicated, and he showed up for the conference.
Okay, Rod, I've known you since third grade. We've talked about it many times. I don't know if you're joking or not.
I'm definitely joking. He's at a work conference.
Thank God.
That.
I did not listen. It wouldn't surprise me. Aliens, sure, he'd probably be there. Tools that you can't use batteries for, no question. Okay. Yeah. Any conspiracy theory, which let's be honest, there's a few of those conferences going on right now. He'd be there.
See, and here's the thing, right? It kind of refers back to what the great George Costanza on the seminal 90s comedy Seinfeld says, right? It's not a lie.
Seminal?
if you believe it, right? So the thing with Chris is a good joke for what the old man is up to. If it sounds a little bit believable, that's probably the best joke, right? So there you go. Jimmy, now need to, you can put a solo, you can put a oneer on me here if you want to, Jimmy, because I believe you will want to stay out of this conversation because I have a TGL update for the
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. See, Jimmy, I gave the people that listen to this show a TGL update. I have a feeling that a few listeners out there tuned into TGL. And you know what, Jim? It was a pretty darn good season. We ended the year with Boston Common on top of the standings with 8 points. The LA Golf Club coming in second with 6 points. The Atlanta Drive, third place with also 6 points. And Tiger Woods' squad, Jupiter Lynx, barely making the playoffs with 5 points, but giving the best TGL matches anybody has seen the final 2 weeks, coming from behind in weeks 4 and weeks 5 to make the TGL playoffs. I know you'll be tuned in March 17th, Jimmy, on ESPN, starting at 6:30 for the beginning of the TGL semifinals.
Rod, there's nothing in the world I would rather not be doing than that.
Well, again, Atlanta Drive versus LA Golf Club will start out. Jupiter Lynx versus Boston Common will be the second one of the doubleheader. And then they'll come back and play the championship on March 23rd. And you can bet you can follow along here on the Morgan You Know podcast, and we'll keep you updated about what's going on there. Information, Jimmy, that I know you care about is kind of sad and out of left field information from your Chicago Bears. Why don't you tell us what happened?
All right, so I'm gonna be the fan first, and I'm gonna be the person, right? So it was looking good, guys. It was looking good. One of the best offensive lines in the league. We need safeties because we have none. That's fine. Need a linebacker, need a defensive end. Okay, no problem. We can get that free agency in the draft. Our all-pro center retires at 27. Okay, now this is why we can't have nice things. This is why, as a Bears fan, Rod, that you are now, you know, Rod, that we can't get happy about anything. Okay, we signed the number one free agent. He had an all-pro season. Wasn't perfect? No, but he had an all-pro season. And he decides to retire. Just kind of stinks sometimes, you know. Now, I will say, Drew Dalman, wish you the best in your future. No hate whatsoever. Got to do what you got to do. You never know what's going on in someone's life. Enjoy your retirement. Enjoy the kids if you have any. I'm not sure. Just enjoy it. That's great. But as a Bears fan, what the hell do we have to do, Rod?
Jimmy, you are a better man than I. We all know as a Colts fan, and this podcast is audio evidence of it, that a certain player decided to walk away. Yeah, I literally just didn't say his name right there. A certain player decided that he was going to walk away unexpectedly and leave the Indianapolis Colts, and I have not felt the same way about that particular player. I will admit that I am the smaller man for it. I will admit that it is wrong of me to hold a grudge against that person, but I still do. So, Jimmy, I can imagine that when you got this news, you weren't happy. But as you said, it's just, I guess, further evidence that, like, football can be tough on some people, right? You said it yourself. He's only 27 years old. He signed a contract just last year that would have paid him for 2 more years, and he decided, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this anymore. So
he might have to give back money as well. Now, I will say this, and every single fan, I haven't seen too much like negative toward him. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, but everybody has said, I'm glad he did it now, because the person who shall not be named did it during a preseason game, I believe. Now it's before free agency. So every single center is available right now in free agency and the draft, which is good. And there's actually a pretty decent list of centers that are available for free agency. So, you know, it stinks, but also he didn't leave the Bears hanging.
I love that you brought up free agency there, Jimmy.
Yeah.
The other team that we follow closely on this podcast, and our Indianapolis reporter was here to talk to about us with him. So let's hope he can get back. Got some internet issues happening down there at the Storm residence. But the Indianapolis Colts, Jim, we were all told that the Colts had 2 big decisions to make: their quarterback and their wide receiver. They were not going to be able to put a tag on the both of them. And the Colts decided to put the transition, yes, you heard me right, the transition tag on a quarterback, a tag that hasn't been put on a quarterback in something like 20 years. It guarantees that Daniel Jones will get at least $37.8 million from the Colts. Someone else could sign him to a bigger deal. The Colts then have about 5 days to match that. I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I guess I would start here. I would say if you hear that every team in the NFL is salivating at the idea to offer Alec Pierce a contract, I don't know that I've heard that about Daniel Jones. So I might have went a different way with the tags. What do you think?
It's strange, Rod, because you could lose both players this way. Because if you're the Colts, like all kidding aside, let's just look at it as if you're a Colts, the GM right now, which, by the way, quarterback isn't his best thing. He had a great interview with McShay, by the way. Danny Dimes, let's say the Vikings come and say we'll give him $45 a year for 4 years. Okay? Guaranteed. Or the Cardinals do the same thing. Are you signing him to 4 years, $45 million a year? That's $180 million for Danny Dimes. Are you doing that for him?
I would say the Colts have already showed us that no, because they are already guaranteeing him a far less salary by giving him the transition tag than he would have been guaranteed had they given him the franchise tag, Jimmy. So I would already say that the Colts have shown us that they have a certain threshold they're not willing to pass.
Robert Saleh is in Alec Pierce's driveway right now. Probably not in the driveway, private property, probably on the street right next to it. Brian Daboll, same car. They're waiting for Alec Pierce, and they're waiting for this to start. My son Jackson, devastated that Pierce is going to be gone. He's going to get a ton of money, and like you said, I probably would have put the franchise tag on Pierce and still tried to work out something with Danny Dimes, because I don't see a $45-50 million a year deal coming for him. I really don't right now. Again, quarterback Achilles, next year's going to be bad anyway, Rod. Even if he's healthy, first year back from Achilles, it's going to be bad.
I think even if Daniel Jones didn't have a hurt Achilles, the chances were pretty high that he was going to be bad coming back into next year, but that could just be negative me talking. Let's go to our Indianapolis reporter who has solved the internet issues down at the Storm residence. He is a season ticket holder for the Indianapolis Colts. He was there and riding high for the beginning of the Colts season last year when things were looking good. He was also there for the end when things were not looking so good. Dax, we broke it down for the people. Pierce or Danny Dimes? What was your thought when the news came down?
Well, I was disappointed. Kind of typical Colts, just like very indecisive. I really wanted them to keep Pierce because I think if you would have kept Pierce, you probably would have had. I think Pierce and Jones, they were kind of, you needed to keep them both. I don't think that Jones would be worth that money that you kind of proposed, Rod. Honestly, I mean, that's a hard chunk to swallow, but I would pay it if you get Pierce as well. If you can have both of those. But yeah, I was very disappointed when I saw that they kind of let Pierce go. What I kind of Rod, you might remember this from back in the day, but what they say, but don't never give someone else a chance to go get good customer service elsewhere. So like keep him in the house. Don't even let him go out there and explore how much money you want. Yeah, he was. Yeah, Pierce is a phenomenal player. I mean, still there's a chance, he comes back to Indianapolis and so does Jones. But I think Pierce was definitely the more desirable of the two.
Rod is so shaken up that he's muted, but that's okay.
All right, here's the other problem I have. I'm sorry. You're right. I am. I'm getting all flustered here. I'm mad because this situation put the Colts over the salary cap, right? We're going to have to restructure somebody or cut somebody to get down underneath the salary cap by March 11th, which is when you have to be under the number to be able to start the offseason. If the Colts would have put the franchise tag on Alec Pierce, guess what? Wide receiver money is less than quarterback money. The Colts might not even be over the cap had they done that with Pierce versus what they did with Dimes. And like you said it there, they didn't even guarantee themselves. Jimmy, I would love nothing more. I'm sorry. You guys are both going to get mad at me because you both said you want to see Danny Dimes back in the Colts uniform next year. I do not. I absolutely do not. I would love nothing more than for some team to swoop in and say, Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, we love you. We believe in you. Come play for us for $180 million. But guess what? The Arizona Cardinals friggin' cut Kyler Murray. So any team that wants a quarterback and they're ready to take a chance on somebody is going to get Kyler Murray for far less money. You're going to bring Kyler Murray in for a 1-year show me deal on basically a veteran minimum. Nobody's going to offer Danny Dimes any money. We're going to be bringing in a broke down quarterback with a busted up Achilles, losing our number one receiver. And oh, by the way, we don't have a number one draft pick for 2 years. Our coach and our offense, our coach and our general manager are going to get fired, and we're going to be starting over from square zero with no draft picks. This Colts thing is going bad fast. I'm sorry, but it's true, and you both know it.
Okay, but what about this? Okay, what if it's like the opposite next year, right? So what if they like start off real terrible, and then all of a sudden they just hit a stride, win just go win just tonight, and they still finish like 8 and 9, but they're like, well, see, this is what it was like, so they have to extend Ballard and Steichen, and there could be a good possibility that happens too, I don't know, man. Like, it's been such a weird organization.
It's not good when you're laughing and trying to tell us what's going on there, Dax.
Yeah.
It really isn't. So, Rod, let me ask you this: if keeping Alec Pierce means Michael Pittman would have had to go because of salary cap, are you okay with that?
Bye.
Yeah, I agree.
Michael Pittman should be gone anyway. Like, you shouldn't be factoring in anything that you're doing with Pierce or with Daniel Jones. And God, I can't believe I just said that. But you shouldn't be factoring in what you're doing with either one of them. Michael Pittman should be a non-factor.
And the wide receiver free agent class is not exactly deep. Can I interest you in a Tyreek Hill?
Or how about Stephon Diggs, who just got cut by the Patriots? Just whatever. This Colts season's a dumpster fire. You said it. We'll have plenty of time to talk about how the Colts are going to be a disaster. Let's move on to more fun things, and that would be the NBA. And I like to sit back and be more of a takester, so I allow my guy Jimmy Jamriska to lead the fast break. Let's go.
Welcome to the fast break portion of the Morgan You Know podcast. Dax is here to talk about the tank. Chris is gone. We're all pro tank here now. Dax, show us that shirt, baby. Show us that shirt.
There you go. You got to bring the gold tank.
Yeah.
Gold tank.
Yeah.
Tell us about the gold tank. How's the gold tank doing right now? As you're not a season ticket holder, but you're a season ticket holder.
Well, yeah, for sure. No, we've got season tickets there.
Oh, you do for sure. Okay.
Yeah. And so, my buddy and I thought it would be kind of silly to get some gold tank shirts. So they're like the exact color that the Pacers use up at Amazon for fairly cheap. And so it's 0-4. And
good work.
Hey, it's I don't want to see the team. We go back to this. I think everybody knows you don't want to see your team lose, but at this point, might as well just have some fun with it. This is the first time in the Pacers history they'd ever tanked, so might as well mark the occasion.
Rod, of course, is as our resident tank expert here, which we'll get to in a second. How excited are you that Pacers are actually doing what they said they do?
I was a little worried. I got to admit, I was a little worried when the Zubac trade went down and kind of you heard some whispers in the winds like, oh, well, this weird protection that the Pacers did, like maybe they're going to bring Zubac in and maybe they're going to fight for the playoffs because the East is a wasteland. You know what I mean? And what we've come to realize is the East isn't quite that much of a wasteland. There's kind of 4 teams at the top of the East that are all pretty darn good. And then you have some teams at the bottom, namely the Charlotte Hornets, who are lambasting my C's tonight. But I don't really want to talk about that, Jimmy. I can't believe that I just brought it up.
Oh, we'll talk about it. Don't worry.
No, I don't want to talk about it. We really, please promise me we don't have to bring that up. But I just think that, like, when you're the Pacers, and I talked about this before, Dax, don't be mad at the Pacers, right? Don't let Chris's propaganda infect your head. You're not mad at the Pacers. You don't want to yell at the coach or the team or the ownership. You want to yell at the NBA. They set up this structure. They set up where you're rewarded for being bad, and the Pacers are just taking advantage of it, and I applaud them.
So, Dax, as a big Pacers fan, Zach Lowe brought something up on his podcast this week that I thought of you when he said it. He said Benedict Mathurin is kind of like the Lauri Markkanen of the Clippers, where he was kind of just thrown into a trade. But, of course, not even close to being where Lauri Markkanen is. I'm asking you, do you think Benedict Mathurin could be a better player than Lauri Markkanen in the next 5 years?
I think potential is there. I mean, I don't know. He's definitely had some flashes. I mean, I've seen it with the Pacers. You've seen it with the Clippers. I would think that he would just be – I mean, his focus is scoring, all 100% just scoring, and that's kind of what he does. He'll get some rebounds. It'll be interesting to see how he keeps playing, how he plays with the Clippers and Kawhi. Actually, the Pacers play the Clippers tonight at 10:30. So I'll actually be able to watch Ben a little bit tonight as well. But I don't know. I think Markkanen is on a higher level than Mathurin is. Honestly, nothing away from Mathurin, but I don't think he'll get to that level.
Mathurin averaging 18.8 points a game, 6 rebounds and 2 assists since coming to the Clippers. Lauri Markkanen is averaging 6 dentist appointments, 5 root canals, and 6 abdominal pains, Rod, over the past 3 months. Who do you think you would want, Benedict Mathurin or Lauri Markkanen?
That's a really good question, Jim, because we say to ourselves the height that Lauri Markkanen reached in his first year in Utah and what we've seen Lauri Markkanen do for the Finnish team in world basketball competitions. You're like, man, that's a silky smooth shooter who can move a little bit, grab some rebounds. He's a 7-footer, but we haven't really seen him play serious basketball ever, right? We've seen Benedict Mathurin in the finals. Okay, he wasn't Tyrese Halliburton in the finals. He wasn't Pascal Siakam in the finals, but he was a guy that the Pacers went to and got buckets in the finals. So I'm with you, Jimmy. I think the Pacers are going to rue the day a little bit that they gave up Mathurin, right? Everybody talked about this pick protection, and we're all going to be watching with bated breath at the lottery. But I think they're going to look back a couple years from now, and they're going to be like, damn, Mathurin's still averaging 19 a game. You know what I mean? The Clippers just gave him a 3-year, $75-80 million contract, and he's, a good fill-in on nights that Kawhi just decides he's not going to play.
Dax, right now the Pacers, I believe, have a 58% chance to get in the top 4, excuse me. How nervous are you that this is going to backfire? Because the Pacers never tank, and the one time they do the lottery gods look down on them?
I'm not really worried that much. I mean, it'd be nice to get the pick. If anything, I think everybody's confident with the team they're going to put forward next year. Without the pick or not, if everybody comes back healthy, Tyrese plays at a 75% level, and then everybody will play. I think that pick won't be as important. Like, obviously you want it, but I mean, heck, the Pacers haven't really, they're really known for their draft picks, so I mean, you got Benedict Mathurin, but they couldn't find a way to play him in their system. So obviously that's why they had to get rid of him, because they couldn't make him work and everybody work. They're not changing the system. But yeah, who knows? That also could turn into trade capital with for future stuff as well. That's not there anymore. So I'm confident that this Zubats trade is going to work. That's probably the biggest thing that I'm worried about more than the pick, is that Zubats actually can play for a couple years solidly and they get their money out of that.
Okay, Rod, we're going to go to you with this next one. When I saw the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder battle, literally, last week, and Cam Johnson hit the not shot to win the game at the end, Jokic is not doing well. They are 5-5. Right now, they would play the Timberwolves in the first round. Rod, I'm saying this isn't the Nuggets' year, and they're going to be out in the first round. Your thoughts?
Wow. First round exit for Nikola, huh? Listen to me. I'm sounding like Michael Malone now, the only person in the NBA podcast or TV world that refers to him as Nikola. But I don't like a little bit of what I'm seeing in Denver, Jimmy. I really don't, right? I don't like the kind of scenario where every time the Nuggets are talked about, you hear the name Aaron Gordon. And as a Celtics fan, Jimmy, that gives me a little PTSD, because I remember back to a year where the Celtics were still kind of riding high. They were still a contender during the Three Amigos year, if you will, with KG and Pierce and Ray Allen. And KG hurt himself like 25 games into the year. And kind of all year long, we kept being like, is KG going to come back? Is KG going to come back? Like, where's KG? And next thing you know, KG never came back, and the Celtics didn't really right themselves, and they were out early in the playoffs. So you may be onto something there, but like, the guy who's basically been first or second in the MVP awards race for the last 5 years, I have trouble saying he's going to be out in the first round of the playoffs. But you're not wrong saying that he looks a little off right now.
Dax, what do you think about Jokic? You think that he's going to be able to get this team back together? He's played a few games now. What do you think?
I got trust in Jokic. I think that I don't see them getting out in the first round. I think that they can put it together. I know that Jamal Murray, he's had a really good season this year too, and I think he's a heck of a leader on there. And I know that what Jokic has had his scuffles the last couple games. I think that's kind of what's throwing a big flag this, and is showing his frustrations. I don't see that happening with Denver.
What I do see happening, though, is a lot of teams that are worse than Denver continue to try to be worse because we're going to the Tankdom Nation of the week.
There we go. Let's go. Here in 2026, lots of teams are looking to tank, but some of them are tanking heads and shoulders above the others, and somebody has to give those teams an award and shout them out for their excellence in tanking, and I am just the person to do it. So I want to let somebody know right now, there are 3 teams excluded from the Kings of the Tank for the rest of the year, and those teams are the Milwaukee Bucks, because against their best judgment, the Milwaukee Bucks are allowing Giannis to come back and are attempting to try to make the play-in tournament. When, if they did not make the playoffs, they would be guaranteed a pick somewhere between like 4 and 7 because of the machinations of their deal they have with the Hawks and the Pelicans. But no, they are trying to make the playoffs, so they are excluded from this list. The Pelicans are excluded from this list because they can't even get their own pick, so they are trying to win. Never will find them on the Kings of the Tank. And here's another team that you may be surprised to find out will never be on the Kings of the Tank, but it's the Sacramento Kings. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you an award for being good at tanking when you're just an inept franchise that has been terrible for years. The only thing that is allowing the Kings to tank right now is the terrible personnel moves they have made for like 3 years that got them here, okay? When you are a team that is considering bringing back Russell Westbrook because he is the spine and emotional leader of your team, you have problems. Kings will never be on this list. But Dax's Pacers, number 3, just an honorable mention. I'm sorry. They keep losing, but there's nothing flashy about it right now. They're just losing. They're not fighting with the league. Nobody's investigating them. Things are just going fine for the Pacers. They're losing ball games and nobody's really talking about them. That's wonderful. They're honorable mention. Runners up to Kings of the Tank are the sneaky Dallas Mavericks. All right. Nobody's really yelling about the Mavericks throwing a bunch of games, but they've absolutely been chucking them to the side for a while. Cooper Flag, what's even her with? I don't know. The Mavericks have him off the court because they're trying to lose ball games. But the undisputed Kings of the Tank for this week goes to that team that, by golly's been doing it for years, and they may have finally perfected it this year, and that's the Utah Jazz. I submit to you the game that the Jazz lost to the Denver Nuggets as the chef's kiss tank of all time. Utah had their fans fired up. They were beating the Nuggets by almost 20 points at certain points in this game. Fans were like, hell yeah, we're going to beat the Nuggets. This is going to be great. And then Utah said to themselves, no, you're not. We are going to proceed to foul the Nuggets 19 times in the fourth quarter, give them a bunch of free throws, and lose this game. And you know what else we're going to do? We're not going to pull our starters like you thought we were going to do in the fourth quarter. Keontae George, he's going to keep playing. Ace Bailey, he's going to keep playing, and we're still going to lose this game because we're the Jazz and the Kings of the Tank.
Dax, you think the Pacers should look at the Jazz and say that's what we need to do?
I'll tell you what, Pacers and Jazz are right on the same line there. Carlisle is really good about the lineups I've been watching. Like anytime you play, Talon Peter 36 minutes a game, multiple games in a row, that's gonna help you, for sure.
I'm sorry, who's that? Who was that?
Exactly. The guy that they should drafted in the second round last year, which they should have drafted a center. I was screaming at the TV when they drafted him, but I'm not nothing against this kid. He's got a good shot, but whatever.
But whatever.
Yeah, but Carlisle's good. That I watched the minutes, and yeah, Jarris Walker should be getting that 36 plus minutes a game, if they're trying to win, and he's only getting 22.
See, that's what I mean. Pacers are doing it under the radar, Jim. Mm-hmm. Under the radar, right? You don't sit guys, you don't make a big show of it. You just play Talon Peter 36 minutes.
Is Jarris Walker due for a contract extension this summer?
I think he's up.
Or is another one?
Yeah, I think he's up. I think he's eligible for this upcoming year.
What do you do?
He's kind of like almost like the new Matherin. He's trying to fit in. Not sure where he fits in coming off the bench. I mean, Jarris has been getting better. I think he was kind of just thrust out there this year, and heard plenty of jeers, Jarris Walker sucks, from earlier in the season, and I don't hear those as much anymore. He's actually playing. He's playing some good ball, kind of being a glue guy, doing a lot of different things.
All right, before we get to the Rod Damnation and the Wins League and MVP table, real quick question for you. You follow college basketball a lot there, Dax. Who do you want? Darren Peterson, AJ DeBanza, or somebody else if the Pacers have the number 1 pick?
I don't know. You probably have to go with another guard. I don't know about the the Banster kid. I saw he's talking about maybe staying in college, and I know that money talks, but still, like, he just seems kind of indecisive on what he wants to do. So I don't know if that's the best pick. I don't know how much. What can we get if the Pacers trade this pick? But I'm sorry. Yeah, back to the original.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This Boozer kid's pretty good.
Okay, so you have no idea who you want.
I honestly no. Like, like I said, I have been more focused on the Zubac aspect of the trade than the actual draft asset of it. To really worry about who we're going to get, because I know what we have, and I'm more excited for that.
Look at you! I love it, Rod.
I'm not sure Darren Peterson and Rick Carlisle will go together really well.
Not at all.
Seems like
DNP, if you will.
Yeah, kind of seems like oil and water to me. So I know the Pacers have Jarris Walker, who I like a little bit, right? Furphy's kind of showed some things. He's coming back. We got Siakam, but I'd still take DeBanza, the 6'8" wing. I'd still take the 6'8" wing if I were the Pacers.
I'd take him in a heartbeat. I think he's going to be the best player in the draft. I am not a Peterson fan. Have not been a Peterson fan all year. I'm sorry. If you're not going to play or you're going to ask out, there's something going on. And I just don't see that changing right away. But what I do see changing, I see Rod going a more lighthearted for this Rod Damnation. I don't know why. I don't know how. But Rod, let's talk about a little fun Rod Damnation of the week.
We have to do something about this situation. The momentum is dying.
I don't understand no more distractions,
But I do believe we should all follow one path in life.
hubris and ego and pride. Sorry, all that was a complete lie. All right, my Rod Damnation this week is going to be pretty simple, and I guess you could look at it as fun if you want to, Jimmy, because it involves a little bit of fighting, right? We enjoy fighting. We're going to talk wrestling here on this podcast coming up in a few minutes. So let's go back to the Oklahoma City versus Denver Nuggets game. Let's go to one Lou Dort, who decides to just completely run a hockey hip check on Nikola Jokic in the backcourt. Jokic does not have the ball. Dort is not screening Jokic off of a man who's dribbling the ball up in the front court. There is zero reason to make this basketball play. Dort gives a little bit of elbow. Dort gives a little bit of his leg to make sure that he trips Nikola, who's coming back off of an injury. Just a complete dirty play. And where my Rod Damnation comes in is if Beef Stew does something like that, you know what Beef Stew is not going to do immediately after he checks it, dude? He's not going to back up and throw his hands up in the air and yell at the ref like, what are you talking about? I didn't foul anybody. How dare you call that on me? Beef Stew is going to be like, yeah, man, I just hip checked you and it's go time. All right. So Lou Dort, to do that and then to absolutely act like you didn't do anything, yell at the ref, and then to look off in the distance when Nikola Jokic is bringing all the smoke to your face. You wanted none of it, my guy. You wanted absolutely none of it. You needed your boy Jalen Williams to come in. And Jalen Williams, I give you kudos for not needing to go get new shorts, because that look Jokic had on his face when he had you nose to nose, my friend, that is the look of a Chechnyan terrorist in the Taken franchise. That is not somebody you want to be messing with on a basketball court. And for the Thunder to basically play the offense they do, where they rely on fouls, and for them to turn around and make a dirty play like that and then complain that the refs called them for a foul, just, get Oklahoma City off my TV. Can't stand those guys. What a dirty, dirty play. At least when Lambeer or those guys did it, they knew that it was dirty.
And that has been the Rod Damnation of the week. Rod, you're correct. It was sad, really, that the Thunder said that. And then they got angry at the Jazz for tanking. A team that built their franchise on tanking got mad at that. Dax, at least, like he said, at least Beef Stew owns up to it. He doesn't say it wasn't me. He's in there actually punching the person.
Yeah, Stewart's a dirty little player too, man. I don't like
Okay, not a fan.
Yeah. But no, I get your point. I get your point, man. Like if you're gonna do it, then own it. Don't try to. I mean, yeah, good point. That's pretty much how OKC is their game is to get fouls and then just to turn it around and a punk move, that's for sure.
Oh, well, we're doing we're doing Rod Damnation again. I guess we're doing Rod Damnation again, Rod. I don't know what's going on.
But Jimmy, let's just think about it for a second, though. I love this. It's live. We're live, ladies and gentlemen.
This live and preview thing on Riverside's ridiculous. Go ahead, Rod.
If Jokic goes down there, let's think about the DEFCON 5 of like what happens if Jokic goes down there for a complete dirty non-basketball play, right? And then you've got a guy on the defending champs that's then going to have to be suspended for a decent amount of time. You alluded to it there, Jimmy. The Thunder love to chirp and write complaints to the league office. Like this would have been a complete mess. And their guy just did a complete unnecessary dirty play. Like we're all kind of lucky that Jokic didn't get seriously hurt because this thing could have been real nasty.
It could have been for sure. And he would have been suspended for 20 games, something like it would have been a huge fine and suspension because it was that dirty of a play. Just own it. Never do that again. And the good thing is they don't play it all ever again. So it'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they do.
No, I think they come a couple of days, don't they?
A couple days,
March
yeah.
9th or something, I believe.
Yes. So we just did the Kings hardwood hierarchy. Even though Chris isn't here, we're going to do it. The Pistons have retaken their throne after being knocked out by the Spurs. The Spurs are so bad, Dax, that they are now third overall. They're the prince. Those pesky Thunder, though, those dirty Thunder people, they're the queen. What do you think about the Pistons, Thunder, and Spurs being the top three teams, Dax?
That's about right. As much as I hate to say it, I think the Knicks are going to make a run a little bit towards the end of the season. I know I got a good buddy, he's a Knicks fan. He thinks the exact opposite. But I like Detroit as much as I hate Detroit. Great team. The Spurs, I think, are going to keep getting better, and then OKC is going to keep on getting fast.
So, Rod, go ahead, Rod.
No, I said they're going to keep getting fouls. That's good by Dax.
So, Rod, Chris took the Portland Trailblazers as his jester. They lost to the Hawks by 34. That's fine. But you got the Bulls who are 1-9 in their last 10. The Wizards who are 2-8. The Nets who are 1-9. The Pacers who are 2-8. 2-8 Kings. 2-8 Jazz. Pelicans are 6-4. Let's go. Pelicans playing for their I don't know what they're playing for. And the Mavericks are 2-8. Are the Trailblazers that bad? I mean, they actually don't even have Avdia.
This is all because Chris enjoyed lighting the beam so much that he can't just call out the Sacramento Kings for their absolute ineptitude. I mean, like, listen, the reason that the jester exists is because of the Sacramento Kings, right? The reason that every NBA franchise in the league, namely the Pelicans, the Nets, the Bulls, right? Many of these terrible, terrible franchises can look at themselves and say, at least we're not the Kings, right? Like literally the jester position on the Kings hardwood hierarchy should be the Kings. And for him to put, who was it that he put there? I don't even remember now.
Portland, the
Trailblazers. Because they lost to Atlanta, which is ridiculous. Atlanta is 31-31, literally the definition of an average team. So Chris is calling somebody out for being a jester for losing to an average team. He just changes the rules on us all the time, Jimmy.
Well, remember, the Hawks have Kuminga, so anything can happen with Kuminga in the lineup. Speaking of anything can happen, we have our Wins League. I'm going to go over it real quick, and then we're going to hit the Yeah We Know podcast. So I've had it. I'm done. You've had your fun. I'm coming back. Sorry, Rod. You're in first place this week, 197 wins. Congratulations. I fought back, and I am at 192 right now in second place. You're done. It's over. Enjoy it. Make your shirt, because guess what? You're going to wear it for a week. Wu-Tang has 191 wins. Derek has 173, and Chris with 167. So Derek and Chris, pretty close there. Chris, who's been on the podcast most of the time, Derek, who's been on it once, is still probably going to beat Chris.
And Wu-Tang has basically been on it 0 times since he picked his team. I'm glad that he is dropping off to 3rd. Jimmy, I'm not scared of you. All right. I'm not scared of you. My Clippers, all right, are going to keep winning games because they want to try to make it to the 7-8 line in the West. My Celtics are going to keep continuing to win games because Jason Tatum is going to be coming back at some point. And Dax is right that the Knicks are going to continue to win games. I have the Knicks on my Wins League team as well. They're going to suffer an L, unfortunately, against the Pacers because the Pacers are going to decide to not tank for that game versus the Knicks. I think, like Dax was telling me, he thinks they're going to play Zubac. I think Siakam's going to be playing like 34 minutes that game. Jarris Walker's going to get dusted off a little
Halliburton comes in for about 5-10 minutes each half. Why not?
He's going to shoot 3-pointers in pants because apparently that's a thing that the NBA allows now. If you have a hurt Achilles but wear your pants, everything is okay, like Damian Lillard did in the 3-point contest.
Yeah, that's fine. And with that, you've been listening to the Fast Break. Guess what? On the More You Know podcast, it's time for, yeah, we know, gentlemen, let's talk about it. Biggest story of the weekend. What's in the box? It was Danhausen. Danhausen was in the box. Now, I am familiar with him. Dax, did you have any idea who he was?
No. It took me by surprise. Actually, I didn't get to see the Elimination Chamber because of the ridiculous rules for getting that service. If you already have all the bundled services, I'm not going to get into it. So, but no, I did kind of watch some clips, and look, I thought it was like a Sven Gulli type guy getting out there. If anybody knows who that guy is, I don't know. I don't know what this guy's doing, but I'm interested.
You know what, Rod? Chris may not be here, but he's here in spirit, and I love it. I love it. Rod, what was your reaction when you saw this? Please let me know.
I mean, I, of course, didn't know who the guy was, right? Because I don't watch the Janitors League, so I wasn't familiar with his work there. I then immediately started looking into all of my guys on wrestling Twitter, which is a vile, horrible, misogynistic, terrible place. But you still get some wrestling information nuggets that come out every once in a while. So I have to surf the dirty Twitter. And I figured out who he was. And I am all in. I want more Demandhausens. I want to see the blimp, right? What's the blimp going to look like? What's he going to write on the blimp? I want to see them do some sort of a Hall of Fame ceremony. Why not? Put him in the Hall of Fame right now. Let's not have him fight anybody. We need Weird. R-Truth is 56, 57 years old. They don't really let him fight anymore. So, like, we need somebody else that can help bring some comic relief. And why not have it be the kind of creepy, weird Pee Wee Herman type energy, maybe a little bit from Danhausen? Jimmy, am I off by saying there's a little bit of Pee Wee Herman here?
You know, kind of, yeah. He's kind of an R-Truth, but like a little bit different. First of all, the box gimmick, people got themselves so up in arms, and they really wanted to be Jericho or somebody big. It kind of was somebody big. He's got the #1 shirt selling on WWE right now. And it's a fun thing to do. He gives teeth out for curses. Michael Cole got some teeth. And obviously we have to talk about, he is the reason. I love that they did this. Okay, let's talk about Raw. When you got Adam Pearce talking on the phone. Is he there? He's there. I guess you've got to deal with him because he's not here. Turns around, Danhausen there. Wet piece of paper with those demands. He's gotten 2 of those demands already, by the way. So I think we're doing pretty well. And then the Judgment Day, which, by the way, Finn Balor was being pretty nice to him because he's going to be a good guy, Chris. Oh, sorry, Dax. And he curses Dom, and Dom loses to Penta. I love this.
This is absolutely fabulous. I think that you are not showing the proper respect by referring to them as Demandhausens. So I think that
Valid.
you should edit that out when you do this in post and make yourself sound smarter there. But 2 of the Demandhausens were met, and a curse has already happened. So let's go. More curses. All right. I want to see more people be cursed. I want to see like things falling from the sky, right? Like scaffolding falling behind people, right? We don't want it close to anybody, right? We don't want it close to anybody, but we want to see weird things happening when Danhausen is around, right? We want the evil humans spending their monies to support the evil Danhausen so he doesn't have to curse people, Jimmy. I love it.
Yes, everything ends in Housens with him, so just get ready for that. That'll be terrific there. He's got a couple videos up with CM Punk, giving him a shirt. CM Punk loves this guy. And he has got a really good interview with Chris, can never remember his last name, but the guy who interviews all the Thank you. Very good interview, out of character, just talking about who he is and what he does. Listen, he is tiny. He's a small guy, okay? You put him in with Obafemi, he's going to get eaten. Not going to work. But there are certain things that he can do and make it work, and it's going to be fun. And this curse thing can really can go places. I really enjoy that. Now, there's something that
his first match has got to be Tozawa, right, Jimmy? I mean, like his first match has got to be Tozawa, right?
We'll see, because it's funny. You mentioned you don't watch AEW, the Janitors League, as you put it. He hasn't been on TV for like 2 years. He hasn't had a match in 2 years. I think he's been here and there. They really haven't used him much. He is more of the person who goes out to the events, who sits at a table, signs the autographs, got all the merch. WWE is going to be in WrestleMania here. He's going to be one of the longest lines they have. He just promotes himself and does a great job. Listen, kudos to him. Got a gimmick and is working with us. And like Carleone said, we've got 1,000 subscribers, or excuse me, 1,000 videos, 60 subscribers here. Make sure on YouTube, search for us, The Morgan You Know Podcast. We've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, we've got what else? Twitch, and we also have Instagram, TikTok. We're all over the place. We try to get all the stuff out that we can. Feel free, drop us a like, drop us a subscribe. We don't bother you. We put out 2 a day. It's fine. We really appreciate anybody that can do that. Dax, are you excited for the Danhausen experience?
I am. Yeah. Like I said, he has a lot of different options. They have a lot of different options of what they can do with them, and kind of just play them up, or just I don't know. I know this is nothing like Jimmy Hart, but still just having that type of presence on on the side of the ring that can really get everybody's attention fired up about just somebody who's not even wrestling, and so yeah, I'm like I said, he's a very intriguing character.
Okay, so let's talk about Elimination Chamber. And I want to talk about ESPN and their Elimination Chamber review here. I think they gave it a D? They hated the Elimination Chamber. ESPN is not being kind to WWE, so if you're worried about any bias, don't worry, it's not there. Was the Elimination Chamber an A? Absolutely not. Was it a D? No. Overall, I thought it was just fine. I thought that, and we'll go match by match here just to get our thoughts. I thought the match that really stood out the most was the Women's Intercontinental Championship between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. And Rod, we talked about this a lot last week, where if you don't wrestle, you're not going to be able to wrestle well. This is AJ Lee's first match in 10 years. Don't worry about any of the championship, If you aren't on house shows, if you're not doing this, it's going to turn out like that. A match that you could see was being called in the ring. They were where they needed to be, but it didn't flow and really didn't work very well, Rod.
No, absolutely not. I did not like this match at all. I do not like what AJ Lee means for the Women's Intercontinental belt. I don't like that 2 out of the last 3 champions that have won the Women's Intercontinental belt absolutely cannot wrestle, right? AJ Lee maybe at one point in her career could wrestle, but you said it. She's rusty. She's 10 years older. She was from a different era where the women didn't quite wrestle the way that they do. Maxine Dupree has been the Women's Intercontinental Champion here recently. Although I love a lot of her possibilities, she's not necessarily a real wrestler either. And I got to be honest here, Becky's a lot better at promoting herself on Twitter and talking about Starfleet Academy than she is at wrestling a match right now. So she kind of has been a little bit wooden and a little bit robotic against these two as well. So like, I just look at this as like sad times for the Women's Intercontinental belt, Jim. And we were all excited when they created the Women's U.S. Championship and the Women's Intercontinental belt. But like, man, we're kind of going nowhere with both of them.
Dax, your thoughts on AJ Lee coming back?
I don't know. I didn't like
you and Chris are the same. I love it.
I don't know, man. She doesn't really do anything for me. It's just I don't know. I guess I'd kind of put it in a good way. Like it's just kind of a boring Intercontinental belt that's kind of lost a little bit of its competitiveness a little bit. I'm still waiting for someone else to kind of step up.
So, Rod, when you mentioned Becky Lynch and how she's been wrestling here recently, well, she has wrestled Maxine Dupree and AJ Lee, right? So I think that we need to take that into consideration. Remember, she had some great matches with Lyra Valkyria last year. And I think it's a good idea to get her back into some of those types of matches, to get her wrestling people who can do what she does just as well, because Maxine Dupree isn't there and probably never going to be there, unfortunately. She's still working hard. Hopefully she's okay from being knocked out 2 weeks ago. And then AJ
let me ask you this, Jimmy. What are we doing with Becky Lynch? I mean, she's in the Vegas promotions. They've been running them forever, right? She's in there with Liv, and she's in there with old Tiffy Time, and Charlotte's in there, right? And Jade. So what are they going to do with Becky at WrestleMania?
She's going to face AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship some way, shape, or form. And I know she's not in the gauntlet match, but that's what's going to happen again. I really think that's what's going to happen. Unless they saw this match and said maybe not. But again,
let's hope.
I honestly thought this was going to be a multi-person match at WrestleMania to get all the women involved, because all these women are working really hard, get them on the show. But instead they're going to do a gauntlet match to then go to probably a match in a month or so. Well, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe, because then Mania is 3 weeks after that. So we'll have that match at WrestleMania. That's what's going to happen. I'm sorry.
I don't like it.
So the women's elimination chamber match, I thought this was one of the better wrestled and storytelling wise chamber matches we've had, period. Usually, in my opinion, the women's elimination chamber matches aren't very good. A couple of really weird things happen, though. Asuka, number one, overall the number one over person in the match besides Rhea Ripley. People loved Asuka. She just gets pinned right away. Kiana James, Rod, let's talk. Okay. I've seen her wrestle at the Royal Rumble, and I've seen her wrestle here. And there was something different here. And I'm going to attire. I'm 100% going to attire. At the Royal Rumble, she had the bodysuit on and seemed to me that was able to move a little bit more free and going all over the place. She really did a great job there. She did fine in this match, but I think, having her attire be what it was kind of hampered her in this match.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there. I think where we've gone with Kiana James is we're trying to show how much of a powerhouse she is, but she's also still like pointing to her head, and everybody on the commentary table talks about, oh, she also uses her mind. And it's kind of like, all right, so I think she's kind of stuck in between. I'm a powerhouse here and I can do all this cool stuff, but I think she's also still worried a little bit about her knee. Let's be honest. Anytime somebody wears one of those big, huge braces to the ring, they're a little bit worried, right? We were always worried about Stone Cold's knee. We're worried about Charlotte's knee. She wears a big one like that now. Asuka's got a huge knee brace like that on now, so we got to watch out for that. So that could be in her head a little bit there, but I think the possibilities are there, Jimmy. I don't want to counter out too much, but let's, like you said it though, there's just too much room at the top. Where's she even going to go if she continues to impress?
Yeah, she could go with the Intercontinental route. Have her going with AJ Lee now, I guess, right? Rhea Ripley wins, beats Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany took a hard face bump and got bloodied a little bit there. Rhea as the winner kind of made sense to us. Rhea and Jade are doing this Twitter war that's real, but yet not real, Dax. Do you care at all about Twitter wars in wrestling?
No.
Okay.
I don't have a Twitter account, so I don't really follow it or care. But I know that it can build the story up a lot, and there's a lot that goes into that too. But
what are your thoughts on Jade Cargill? Do you think she's going to be able to pull off a good match with Rhea Ripley?
I like Rhea. My daughter and I are both Rhea Ripley fans, so yeah, we'll always root for her. But I think she's good. That she'll be in that position for a while.
Rod, if you look at the poster, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, you're like, wow, that's a big match. That's going to be cool. That's really going to be neat. I want to see these powerhouses go after it. Although Rhea has toned down a lot over the past few years. She used to be a lot more muscular. I don't see this match being anything but opening night 1, opening night 2, which is still good. Don't get me wrong. That is a very good place to be, right? But it can't go that long, can it?
So, Jimmy, you felt like the Elimination Chamber was a good story. Did you feel like it was a good story because of certain spots that they pulled off during the match? Because to me, it's not a great story because the most obvious winner won, right? I mean, like there was no chance that anybody other than Rhea Ripley was going to win that match, and she won. So to me, that's a little bit fait accompli there. But there were decent spots within it. But to me, if we're going to talk about the build to WrestleMania, Jimmy, I'm going to go back to my stalking horse here, and I'm sorry. The segment that Rhea cut on Monday night with Io Sky, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Is this like they're falling in love? Like, honestly, I don't want to sound like
I thought they were gonna kiss. I really did. I'm like, they're both married. What's going on here?
I don't understand. I don't get what's happening, right? Like you said it yourself. The poster looks great between Rhea and Jade. And then the story we're telling with Rhea is she's in the middle of this like supportive, loving friendship with like a little sister character. I don't understand what's going on. She's about to go into a match with Jade Cargill. Rhea Ripley like is known for like being bloodied and like I'm like a demon who's gonna rock your world. And like now she's like, you know, Io, this has been the greatest year of my life with your friendship supporting me. Like, what are we doing?
And then Io's like, okay, I guess I'm going to go ask to be in a gauntlet match and kind of be thrown down the card again. Yes, Rod, the poster should be Io Sky and Rhea Ripley after they've broken up. It should be that. But Dax, it's not. And it kind of stinks. We have the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk and Finn Balor. I didn't think it was as good as their other match. I thought it was a very good match that had a weird, quick ending.
Almost like somebody said, hey guys, wrap it up.
I guess. Okay, first of all, I think we have to say that CM Punk is putting on some good matches. He is wrestling a lot. He's getting better and better after his long layoff, from AEW and not wrestling as much over the past year or so because he was injured, right? I think Finn Balor is a person that we see the direction, but it's a long way off. And I don't know if we're ever going to get there with him again, Rod.
No, we're definitely not. We're
and
definitely
it
not.
Sucks.
It really does because he can absolutely go. He's the right kind of wrestler. He's got the right amount of charisma. He's the perfect guy that like he's not a huge star, right? Like he's not gonna take away your shines from your Seth, who we'll get to, I'm sure, your Romans, your Codys, your Drews, right? But what he is he's your Sammy level, right? He's your top level mid card who anytime you want to heat him up and bring him to the big time, it's a match that works. It's a match that can go. It's a match that people buy. It's going to have a built-in fan base. Guys like you and me that have been loving Balor for a long time. We love the Demon. You know what I mean? We love his Bullet Club work. We know everything that he's about in his whole professional wrestling career. So we're always going to dig him. But he, unfortunately, I think, Jimmy, and I talked about this before, he's shackled to the Judgment Day. They're nothing without him, right? Like, sure, they have Liv, but they're nothing without him because Dom isn't enough to carry the Judgment Day. He's got to have that person to go back and forth with. So for the Judgment Day, who houses so many people, right? If there's no Judgment Day, there's no JD, there's no Roxanne, there's no Big Mama Cool, right? Like all these people basically suffer if there's no Judgment Day. So Finn is like shackled to them as the one guy who has a name and can carry it.
This was Finn's Intercontinental Championship, Dax, to win, and Penta stole it from him. I don't like it. Did you like the match between Penta and Dom?
Well, unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, I couldn't see a lot of the matches,
on Raw
matches because of the ridiculous.
Well, no, Penta and Dom fought on Raw.
And,
yeah. But are you bitter about that? No, I can't tell. Are you bitter? Are you bitter about?
No, I don't really care. So I actually like Penta more. So, and that's just kind of just a random opinion from me. But yeah, I don't know. Penta's more fun to watch. In my own opinion. But yeah.
Okay.
Big news.
Yeah,
big news. Mass wrestlers don't win championships.
Yeah, I think that was. Hey, listen, I think it's a little late, but I love that they gave it to him. He got a big ovation. Indie crowd, go strong with that. Let's go, Indie. Keep it up. We want to get that WrestleMania eventually in life. And which, yeah, please don't even talk to me about that. I thought that was a really good. I thought it was a good win for Penta moving forward, but again, it just destroys that storyline because yes, Dom's going to be mad. No question, Dom's going to be mad at Finn, and they're going to wrestle, and Finn's going to win. Maybe now, because now Dom can win because he can cheat, and I think that'll really suck at WrestleMania if that happens. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I really would much rather see Ray and Dom get re-involved for WrestleMania, like you've always kind of talked about Jimmy Mask versus Hair. But apparently Ray's, I don't know what's going on with Ray, to be honest.
So in the men's elimination chamber match, they just took Logan Paul and put him in the Vision spot, which I thought was really funny. Jey Uso got hurt, so Logan Paul got put in. He won a match, whatever. Javon Evans is apparently Javon Williams. Not a good night for the announcers. Not gonna lie, that was not good. They announced him as Javon Williams coming down.
Not a good night for Javon Evans' face either on that move with Logan Paul.
He got hurt a lot. Yeah, he got hurt there. But I think we need to talk about our boy Randy Orton getting the win after Drew McIntyre shockingly comes in and causes some just horrible, villainous activity. Dax, please tell me you think Drew McIntyre is a bad guy.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Okay,
Nobody likes that, right?
I love the fact that Drew McIntyre caused Cody Rhodes that he's going to be facing him this Friday for the championship. Rod, is Cody Rhodes going to win the championship on Friday and have to face Randy Orton in WrestleMania?
I think so. I do. I think so.
Or it's got to be at least a 3-way, right?
Maybe. But here's the thing, right? I hate keep falling back on the commercials, but like this shit matters in the WWE, right? Guess who's not in the commercials that have been hyping WrestleMania Las Vegas? Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, right? Storyline wise, both of those guys work right now. Both of those guys are over with the crowd, but I'm sorry. We've all seen the commercials. Cody's in the commercial. Brock's in the commercial. CM Punk's in the commercial. Roman Reigns is in the commercial. So call me crazy if I think their golden boy, the most protected man in WWE, is going to win the title again on Friday night.
Before we get to Raw, hey, quick shout out in the world of sports. Lou Holtz passed away today. Growing up in Plymouth, Indiana, watching Notre Dame football, seeing that national championship, seeing about 5 of his different lectures throughout the state of Indiana at all these conferences I've gone to, seen the paper gimmick many times. Never changed that lecture, Rod. Oh, no, same one every time, but it was still good at the end. Like so many people, we have to say, the Lou Holtz of my childhood was a pretty cool guy to look up to. So rest in peace, Lou Holtz, for sure.
I was actually going to say, Jimmy, the only thing that I will say is I saw that lecture just like you did in the auditorium of Plymouth High School when he came down and talked to all of us. And I think that lecture did sort of change a little after 2016, Jimmy. And I think that's all I will say.
It might have a little bit, but shout out. Any Lou Holtz thoughts, Dax? Are you anti-Notre Dame?
No. I mean, you cannot like Lou Holtz. I mean, from his coaching career to his commentary career. I mean, to his public speaking, he was just an amazing human being, and 89, that's still young, but that's a long life. So he impacted a lot of people.
So we found out what was in the box. It was Danhausen. And we found out who was under the mask, who was really under the mask. And Rod, it was a visionary. Congratulations.
Oh, it was a revolutionary. It was the man, Seth freaking Rollins, looking resplendent. The crowd was popping into the whoa. They were getting into it already. I just love seeing my guy come back. I got to admit, I was all in on evil Seth Rollins as heel leader of the Vision. Things got hurt, and now he gets to come back as a giant babyface, and I am all for it. He's going to come back, and he's going to lay waste to Austin Theory. He's going to lay waste to Logan Paul. I thought it was awesome that he actually got to lay waste to Paul Heyman. That's great, right? So often the wise man skips on these things, and he took a stomp, and he got a bloodied face. And then LA Knight, of all people, hijacked an ambulance and took him away.
So does this mean, since LA Knight hijacked the ambulance, the Beast is going to be angry at LA Knight and wrestle him at WrestleMania? Do you think it'll be LA Knight and Brock Lesnar, Dax, at WrestleMania?
Ooh, man. That'd be a good one. Like I smell LA Knight, but good God.
Yeah, Rod, I don't know if that's good for our boy or not. I don't know if I see that happening.
No, I was a little bit like, man, this is what we're doing with LA Knight. I understand that he's got a problem with the Vision too, but like somehow he's involved in this weird plot with Jimmy Uso, and he's like hijacking an ambulance. And I wish better things for our guy, the Unchosen.
I agree. Also, it's funny that Seth Rollins is probably going to face Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Kind of
They've done
seen that.
Yeah, isn't that the one where Logan Paul brought in the droid camera?
Yes.
That was supposed to be a big, huge deal.
You know, he was
WrestleMania Hollywood, right?
He was supposed to face. Well, I think he was originally supposed to face Roman Reigns, and then he got hurt and stuff happened, and then he was going to face Braun Breaker. Yeah, well, then he was going to face Bronson Reed. Yeah, well, and now he's going to face the guy who wasn't even in the Vision when they turned on him, in Logan Paul. Unless they want to do Austin Theory, who's main evented a WrestleMania before, so you never know about
John
that.
Cena. Beat John Cena
He
at
did.
WrestleMania.
I don't know if we're going to land the plane on Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. It might be the match, but I think it's still up in the air. We could see something else happen there.
I think, to be honest with you, Jimmy, you know that I sing the praises of Logan Paul very often here, but I think we're losing the thread with him just a little bit here, right? I think we're losing the thread with him just a little bit here. He's a little too wiry, a little too jumpy. Like, what exactly are we doing with the hair? You know what I mean? Kind of looking like Doc Brown when he goes out there. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that, like, he's doing a little bit of Andy Kaufman, I'm from Hollywood. And it's like, you should just lean fully into I'm from Hollywood. You know what I mean? And like, he only kind of halfway goes there. And I don't fully think he's committed to a character. And I think that's the biggest problem.
He was on a podcast this week, and he mentioned a couple things that I thought were good, and then I'm going to talk about what you were talking about. He said he does not blame LA Knight for one bit for slipping on those ropes because those ropes are really, really slick. And he said the middle of that canvas is extremely slick with those logos on it that he started. Dax, are you a fan of those logos at all?
Oh, they're just like the NBA logos. I'm surprised they don't add them, with digitally like they do everything else. That way you can add more.
Oh, that's a valid point. You could maybe try to do that digitally for sure on the canvas. We'll see how that would work. But yeah, those logos don't serve any purpose other than just to get money, and they're obviously not safe. So I like the fact that he's talking about that. Rod, I think you're onto something a little bit with the Andy Kaufman, because up until about a month ago, he was Logan Paul coming in to wrestle, right? But now he's a full-time wrestler. I mean, this is his job now. He does everything else too, right? But this is more of his main job. And now he's trying to develop a character to be. And this is him fleshing that out. I think it's a little too over the top, some of the things he said, especially his fight with Tom Brady. But anyway, and Myles Garrett. Fight with him. Go ahead. But I think he's just fleshing this out.
Yeah, he definitely is. Shout out to our guy Crippler as well. I'm not how sure we can look at the Crippler for unbiased Cleveland Browns opinions, but our guy the Crippler does not think that Logan Paul would fare very well against Myles Garrett in a boxing match. So
it's amazing when you put two wrestlers who can wrestle in a match and let them wrestle. We had Dragon Lee and Gunther on Raw, and they had a banger. They had a real good match. Gunther is kind of going back and forth. I think, Rod, you brought this up, between being a badass and just being kind of a swarmy heel. Like the badass Gunther. I like that he ripped his mask off. They even showed his face, which I don't know if they were meant to do that, but
I don't think
they
were
supposed to do that. Yeah, well, now everyone,
Here's the thing. I like that we've made Dragon Lee, right? I really do like that we've made Dragon Lee. I think that the guy's exciting. You've had him around for a little while. Let's go, right? And I think that it's just sitting there naturally. You know what I mean? You've got two different El Grande Americanos, right? You've got Penta, you've got Rey Fenix, you got Dom, who's calling himself the king of the luchadors, right? Like, there's just so many storylines that can be involved with all these guys that if we get a dude like Dragon Lee who can get out there and bang, let's go, right? Because we lost my guy Andrade, who was one of the best technical wrestlers out there.
And he's killing it in AEW, by the way. Killing it.
Of course he is, because he's absolutely fabulous. And then my guy Escobar, I believe that they have him basically just running around AAA now, so he's not really going to be around WWE, and he's another one who can go. So give me all the Dragon Lee you can, Jimmy.
Dax, Rusev came out and called out Obafemi. And they actually fought. I was shocked, Dax, that they actually did this and weren't pulled apart. I loved it.
Yeah, that's might as well let them. They're going to get some more time. They deserve.
Oh, yeah.
They deserve a nice little show.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that Rusev, he's going to get destroyed like he has been, right? Obafemi, they are putting him up for something big. Maybe it's Brock Lesnar, maybe it's not. But I think
Which show is Obafemi on, Jimmy? Which show is
he is a
Obafemi
free
on?
agent. He is a free agent.
Okay, because I was going to say he did
big.
the whole thing with the Miz, right? He did the whole thing with the Miz,
Yeah.
and then he comes out, and so I was confused.
The only reason I'm thinking that Logan Paul and Seth Rollins may not be the WrestleMania match, Braun Breaker can come back. That's great. That's the match. That's what you have for sure. Because of this main event segment where you really think it's going to be the Usos against the Vision for the tag team championships at WrestleMania, Rod?
I think it certainly helps the Vision out, right? I mean, I certainly think it helps the Vision out.
Yeah.
And it's a thing where you've made Jey Uso a star. You're trying to help keep him a star. You're maybe trying to bring Jimmy Uso up a little bit. Like, let's give the Usos another main event WrestleMania spot as tag team champs. You know what I mean? I got no problem with that. I love Jey Uso.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job they're great tag team champions. That's what they are. That's why they're one of the best teams ever. And we cannot forget, speaking about one of the best teams ever, via really, really bad FaceTime call, Demolition, Axe, and Smash have been added to the WWE Hall of Fame. Rod, you have your stuff. Rod, I have my stuff. Autographed. Okay. Demolition. I am pumped. They've been my favorite tag team forever. I love them. Were they brought in and made the way they are because of the Road Warriors? I don't care.
Hey, why not? Listen, I loved me some Demolition as well. They were one of my favorite tag teams as a kid. I love the fact that our guy Mark Calaway.
I'm done. Calaway. Yep, done.
Our guy, Mark Calaway, the dead man, the Undertaker, is now the keeper of the Hall of Fame. If you get a call from Taker, you are making it into the Hall of Fame. So, like, I guess he's not allowed to call anybody else the rest of his life.
What if he's damn wrong number? Sorry. Oh,
he's not, like if he calls up, I don't know, like if he calls up his guy, the Godfather, right? If he calls up the Godfather,
already in there.
He's like, oh, okay, all right, so it wouldn't be him. If he calls up, let me think, Val Venus. If he calls up Val Venus, no, Val Venus also not with us. Yeah, Val Venus not with us. I'm trying to come up with a wrestler who like doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, who Undertaker might have to call.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll think of somebody next week, Jim.
So we have listen, we've got Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, and Demolition. Those are three very, very good inductees. I love it. We've got the woman in Stephanie. We're looking for probably an old manager of some sort coming in so we can see.
Are we going to do a celebrity? Are we going to put somebody in the celebrity wing the same way that we have Kid Rock and Donald Trump and Snoop Dogg in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Maybe I Show Speed. That'll maybe not the moment will be put in because now they're putting
Johnny
matches
Knoxville.
and moments.
Put Johnny Knoxville in, host of Fear Factor.
They're definitely going to put Johnny Knoxville in, by the way. Dax, we really appreciate you stopping by and helping us with the NBA and WWE. We love to have true fans that have not been sullied by years and years and years of being beaten down by the WWE. We appreciate that. Thanks for coming, Rod. As always, thank you. And remember, you've been watching and listening to the More You Know podcast.
Yep, and all you C's fans out there, thank me later for keeping Celtics talk out of the podcast tonight, right? We did not have to talk about how the Hornets are absolutely taking it to the Celtics. We didn't have to mention that.
No, they didn't lose by like 40. 2K got them. One of these days, I'm going to get this ending right with this new shows that we're doing, okay? I will get it right, I promise. Dax, can you please give it Goodbye Net? Yeah. Can you give us one of those, please?
Oh, yeah. I guess I can't do it too loud. I'll get the people sleeping here. So, yeah. Instead of going pathetic.
Goodbye, Net. Yeah.